Question 8, we are asked to find the value of x minus y if 2 to the power x plus 2 plus 2 to the power x is equals to 5 to the power y plus 1 minus 5 to the power of y. So here I would firstly get the values of x and y and then minus the value of y from x, and then that will be my solution. So from this equation, I'm going to split these terms. So here I have 2 to the power x multiplied by 2 to the power 2. According to laws of exponents, if I have the same base, I can add the exponents. Plus 2 to the power x equals to 5 to the power y multiplied by 5. If I have the same basis even here, this is 1, so it's going to be 1 plus y, which gives us that. Do you get it? Awesome. And then minus 5 to the power of y. All right. Now, here I basically have 4 times 2 to the power x, because this guy becomes 4, plus 2 to the power x, which is equals to 5 multiplied by 5 to the power of y minus 5 to the power of y. Right. I need us to think of 2 to the power x as m and 5 to the power y as k. Ne? So it's like I have 4m plus m. So I have 5m. Do you see it? 4m plus m. That gives us 5m. So we're going to have 5 dot 2 to the power x, but this is 5 to the 1, is equals to, this side is like we have 5k minus k. That gives us 4k. We have 5k minus a k. That gives us 4k. So we have 4 dot and then 5 to the power of y. Do you see it? And then we have 5 to the power of 1 dot 2 to the power of x equals to, we know that 4 is 2 squared multiplied by 5 to the power of y. And then this thing can be true only and only if this part goes with that part and this part goes with that part. Right. So by the look of things, we can therefore see that the y value would be 1. Therefore, y is equals to 1, or x is equals to 2. Therefore, x minus y is equals to 2 minus 1, which is equals to 1. And that gives you us, I think it was B, but let's just confirm. Yes, the answer is on B. Right. Let's now go tackle question 9. Okay, I'm going to erase a little bit. Let's erase question 8. That's sorted. So on question 9, they say for how many integer values of n is n plus 3 over n minus 1 an integer? This can be true only and only if we can agree on something. If I add 2 integers, the answer is always going to be an integer. If I add 3 integers, the answer will always be an integer. What I mean is if I add minus 1 plus 5, the answer is 4, which is also an integer. So the sum of 2 integers will give you an integer value. All right. So now I'm going to try to break this in such a way that I only have n as the denominator, which will make these things simple. Ne? I have to accept that this is a classic example. Ne? This is a question that you need to have experience. Otherwise, it's going to be really challenging to attempt it. Ne? Remember, we go with levels. So we are going to do this. Ne? I'm going to write the numerator as n. I need minus 1 because at the bottom I have n minus 1. but I still need to maintain the top to be n plus 3. So here I must add a 4. So that this is still n plus 3 over n minus 1. So I haven't changed anything because this is plus 3. Right? And this will simplify to n minus 1 plus 4 all over n minus 1 over n minus 1. I've just split the denominator. So this cancels to give 1 plus 4 over n minus 1. And now we're going to use that fact that I've introduced. We know that 1 is an integer. So if this is an integer, we are going to have a total of an integer. All right. So I need to know how many n values I can input here so that I can have an integer. So the idea here is, as long as n minus 1 can divide into 4, is a factor of 4, then we are going to have a total of an integer. What I mean is, let's say you have 4, if n plus 1 is 1, then you're going to have 4 as the answer. If you have 4 and n minus 1 gives you that, that's true. So now here the big thing is, how many numbers can go into 4 completely? So now we know that, okay, here we're going to have plus and minus 1 can go into 4. Plus and minus 2 can go into 4. And then plus and minus 4 can go into 4. Let me just show you an example. Let's say we had this. Let's say n minus 1 was basically negative 2. Therefore, n would be minus 2 plus 1, which will be minus 1. Then you're going to have 4 divided by minus 1, which is minus 4. And then 1 minus 4 gives you minus 3. This one is that one. And that is the first example. So this will be true for all those 6 factors of 4. So here you have 2 factors, 2 factors, 2 factors. So you have a total of 6. Therefore, there are 6 possible n values we're going to have. And the correct answer is therefore on D, to say there are 6 of them. Alright, I hope this makes example. Awesome. So when you get questions like this and they ask you how many n values can make this an integer, always break it down in such a way that one term on top will cancel with the denominator, so that one of your terms will be a nice clean integer, so you can easily deal with that part. Dango. Now let's go to question 10. On question 10, they say, let's check question 10. 4 men can lay 32 bricks in 6 hours. So let's highlight that. 4 men can lay 32 bricks in 6 hours. All right. So we need to see something here. Let's check. Okay. And then they say, how long will it take? So how long is time here? And we're looking for time. Then we know that there are 3 men to lay 800 bricks. So here, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we need to know is how many bricks one man lays in 1 hour. How many bricks one man lay in an hour? So we are basically assuming that this a man work in the same rate. So now let's check how we're going to do that. We're going to say, okay, we know that there were 4 men. There were 4 men who worked for 6 hours in total. So which means there were 24 man hours, because each man worked 6 hours basically. Remember, we assume they are working at the same rate. So, which means the total of hours were input to lay the 3,200 bricks is 24. So if I need to know how many bricks one man lays in an hour, is this, ne? One man will lay 3,200 divided by 24 in an hour, right? So that will simplify to, let's see, I can use 8 here. 8 will go 400 times into 3,200 and goes 3 times into 24. So each man lays 400 over 3 bricks per hour. Right. Now, we want to now know how many bricks 3 men lays in 1 hour. We're coming here. How many bricks 3 men lays in 1 hour? So let's see. So 3 men will lay 400, which is the bricks laid by 1 man, but we need 3. So which means 3 men will lay 400 bricks per hour. Per hour. So obviously, to get the time taken to lay 800 bricks, we know that, okay, we have 800, but we know that we lay 400 per hour. So that is 2 hours. So which means 3 men will take 2 hours to lay 800 bricks. And that is option B. That is option B. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to share with family and friends and to watch all the series of this. There will be more than hundreds of videos to help you prepare for NBTs. Please don't forget to subscribe to support the Say Guru movement. Thank you.